Okay. Hi YouTube, this is Josephine again, and I hope you're not getting tired of seeing me because I'm looking forward to seeing you. Anyway, today I have another recipe video for you. It's a quiche recipe. Now, like all the recipes that I do, it is fully customizable to what works for you and your family. That's kind of how I was raised. If you have X, you put X. If you have Y, you put Y. And I'll show you where you can customize a little bit. It's very customizable. So this recipe is a quiche. I don't know if you ever made quiche before, but usually you have to mix everything up together, the eggs and whatnot. So usually I use 6 eggs. Today I thought the eggs looked a little small, so I put like 8 eggs in there. But 6 eggs should be enough. You could even go smaller. Just cut the recipe in half or whatever. And then I added a brick of cream cheese, one of those Philadelphia's. Warmed it up a little bit, threw it in there. Then I added about 2 cups of cheese, which I use the Mexican blend. But if you wanted to use like just straight cheddar or mozzarella or whatever you have or whatever you prefer, dump that guy in there. That wouldn't hurt. It's gonna taste great. Whatever you like, Gouda, Swiss, work it out. Then I added about a half a cup of what's that? I did a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then I added some seasonings. And usually I kind of like just shake it until the ancestors say stop. But today I measured. I recommend going a little bit lighter. I did a 1.5 tablespoons. I recommend going 1 because I did season my meat prior while I was cooking it. So I don't want to over season. I don't want you to over season. So I did like my all-purpose seasoning. I just did about 1 tablespoon. Like I said, I did 1.5. Cut that back to 1, and then I threw it in the mixer. Well, threw everything in the mixer. Put it whip. Just until it combined. You want to break the cream cheese up and everything. When you see everything look like it's combined properly, you can stop. So while that's whipping up, I recommend getting on the stove. I had some sausage. So usually, like I said before in a prior video, I don't use a lot of sausage. However, I had some when I first started this diet. I purchased some sausage. So I had it there. It wasn't getting used up. I thought, you know what? Perfect opportunity to throw some flavor and meat in my quiche. So I cooked that up. While cooking it up, I looked at it. I thought, it's not looking quite enough. I want a little bit more meat because I'm a carnivore. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so I got some ground beef. I grill it up. I throw a little bacon in there as well. Bacon makes everything taste great. Okay, so you could add bacon to it. And here is where you can customize this to your likings. If you only have bacon, put bacon. If you only have ground beef, I've done it with only ground beef. I've done it with when I first started this diet, we wasn't sure how much we were gonna eat. When you, as you could see, when you first started diet, you tend to eat more in the beginning, and then eventually your diet kind of regulates itself, and you don't even want to eat as much. What you would find that you normally would eat, it would go down. At least that's what I found, and even my husband, he found that too. So I had extra burgers. I cut that up and threw it in there. One time I cut up some chicken and threw it in there, and I wouldn't recommend the chicken. It just wasn't a very good fit. It tasted chickeny, and I love chicken, but it didn't complement the dish, so I say no to chicken. And then I cooked it up, and I cooked the ground beef separate from the pork, and then I combined them together, all 3 of those meats together. And this is what I did, and I would recommend maybe wait until it cooled down, because I threw the hot, because it was getting kind of late, and I just threw the hot meat into the eggy, cheesy mixture, and I think it should have been cooled down. I think that's preferred. If you put it in, it did come out good. Usually mine get a little higher when I cook it. Like when I bake it in the oven, it rises up a little bit. I like that nice souffle kind of fluffiness, but it didn't rise up as high. And the only thing I could think of is 2 things. One, I added a lot of meat. It was a way more meat than I normally would add, so maybe cut back on the meat a little bit. But my kids loved it. They ate it. Like, they were like, ooh. In fact, one of my kids said, ooh, mommy, I didn't think it was gonna be so yummy. And she usually says yummy. Anyway, focus. So yeah, it was great. I put it in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. I usually don't want it to get too brown. Or if you want to go all the way and get it nice and brown and toasty, you could do that. But I didn't want it to get too brown because I usually keep these in the fridge for a few days, and we have it as leftovers. Like tomorrow I might have this for breakfast or lunch, lunch, whatever. And you know, sometimes I might even go more than 2 days, you know. So because I usually eat it alongside something, but because it has so much meat in it, you probably don't even need to eat it alongside anything. It's the perfect meal by itself. Okay, so this is my quiche recipe, quiche muffin recipe, however you want to refer to it, and it's delicious. You're not gonna regret making this for your family and yourself. The only thing I would recommend was 2 things. One, only go a little lighter on the seasoning, because remember that sausage has seasoning, Parmesan cheese is salty. You season your beef up, because I did add a little seasoning to the beef. I just did. You want to watch your salt content, even though on this diet you're supposed to have some sodium. Sodium is good. However, you don't want to over season. I don't like overly salty stuff. Now if you do, hey, work it out between you and God. But for me, I would say it wasn't bad. It was great. But a little bit less of salt, and maybe wait until our meat cool down just a little bit. And that's all I got for you today, guys. So yeah, stick with me. I'll stick with you. And watch me melt, yo. Do you like that line? Leave it in the comments below. Tell me if I should cut it out. I'm trying to find a catchphrase that works for me, that's gonna be funny or cute or whatever. Yeah, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you next time with another one.